I want to talk about the conversation that Kanye started with him saying that Universal, Sony, and everybody owes him his masters, and they have to give it back, and the artists have to get back their masters, etc., etc. And I think the conversation is a little disingenuous and maybe a little dishonest because I understand that the narrative that people like to paint, especially when they're artists, is that they are exploited. I'm an artist myself. I've been signed to Sony for my first two albums. And what you have to understand about this is, like, I remember that when I signed to Sony, even if I read my contract, I had a lawyer read it, etc., etc., of course I was more excited to sign with Sony and to have these prestigious label behind me and to sign to Sony Publishing and but what was my interest here? My interest is knowing that I would have the financial power to do what I wanted to do. I would have the financial power. I would have their arm, and I would not have been able to shoot a video like Bounce Baby, which at that time cost the equivalent of 20 to 25,000 euros, if it was not for them putting the money up front on my project, paying for the mixes, because the album was already done, but then we recorded everything in South America. But then once I signed, we took everything back to Paris, where everything was mixed in a big studio called Les Studios de la Grande Armée. And then after that, they pushed with the promo, paid for the video, and made me arrive in places because they had the infrastructure, right? And because they also put an investment behind my project. So, of course, the contract said that, I think my contract was 8, 9, 10, meaning that if you sell 10,000 albums, you get 8%. If you sell more than 25,000, you get 9%. And if you sell more than 50,000, they give you 10% of the revenue generated by the album after they recover the advance they give you, etc., etc. And I sold 100,000 copies thanks to their distribution, their contacts with the store, and putting my album in places like all the stores like Fnac, Virgin, Megastore, etc., etc. So it's not because I have a label and I've produced artists, but I'm also an artist. So I've been in both sides, right? And I see it from the business point of view. And the artists love to see everything from an art point of view. And because they see everything from an art point of view, sometimes they refuse to see business how it is. If I invest 100 or one, let's say, if I invest 1,000 euros for you to make a single plus a music video, and he pays your studio, etc., etc., of course, this is me investing the money. So I'm not investing this money for your little blue eyes. I'm investing this money in the hopes of making 2,000, 3,000, 10,000. And in your contract, it says that, yeah, I'm going to invest 1,000. I'm going to invest 10,000 in your project. Plus, I'm going to give you 5,000 in advance. Meaning that here's 5,000. Do whatever you want with it. I'm going to first, soon as I start making money selling your album and taking the risks of losing my money, first money I get, I'm gonna reimburse myself the $5,000 that I advanced to you, like a bank, right? After that, soon as I got my advance back, I got my $5,000 back that I gave you. Now, every album that I make, I'm gonna make 10, and I invested 10,000. So I hope to sell 1,000 CDs so that I can get my 10,000 back. And of course, I'm gonna give you a percentage of the money I make, which is usually between 6% to 10 to 15, depending on how big you are. Me was 8, 9, 10. So if I make 10,000, you're gonna make 1,000. If I make 100,000, you're gonna make 10,000. If I make 1,000,000, you're gonna make 100,000. And that's exactly what happened with me and Sony. I sold 100,000 copies of my first album, I'm Ready. They made 1,000,000. They gave me 100,000. And I didn't complain about it because I didn't put the money. I didn't put the 50,000 that was needed to finish this album, to fly me here and there and whatever, shoot the video, buy everything, all these things. They invested that money. So it's their investment. So of course the master belonged to them. And where I disagree with a lot of artists that believe that labels, especially the big labels, are exploiting you or whatever, I'm not saying that everything is fair, but where I disagree is that they come from a fact that because it's your art, the master should belong to you. I believe that it just depends who invested. If I invest my money on you, it means on that project, it means the project belongs to me. It's just like if I'm buying a house and you live in the house, it's still my house because I bought it, unless I give it to you, right? And if you want the master to be yours and to be the owner of your art, then you need to invest the money up front yourself, or come to a label and say, hey, my project is finished. I recorded everything myself, etc., etc. Do you want an advance? I don't want no advance. I just want you to do distribution. And you're gonna do the distribution and you're gonna give me 70% of the money made, and you're just gonna take 30% because I'm using your distribution network. So it's a completely different contract. This is what I started doing with my third album, second album, fifth album, sixth album. On those albums, I was paying for my studio and recording the things by myself and making the money myself. And then I used that money to go back to my first label and tell them, hey, I want to buy my first two albums. You see what I mean? And this is the difference. So I really want people to understand, and a lot of artists really don't understand that because they come from the art side of things. But you see, all these light, I bought it in Thailand. This microphone, I bought it. This camera, I bought it. The computer I'm using, the internet connection, everything is my investment. So this is why this content I'm creating belongs to me. But if somebody else paid for everything and just told me, hey, you can use my studio, you can use my YouTube channel, etc., I would have to share with that person. And it always comes to how much you want to invest in the beginning. And if you don't want to feel like you are exploited, then in this case, invest in your talent. Always invest in your talent first.